Hey guys, Barbara here from the Bare Pantry Show. I hope that you guys are staying safe during these perilous times. I'm so excited to be here for this virtual celebration of the anniversary of Belize's independence. 39 years, guys. No celebration is great without some fantastic food, right? So this is what I'm here to present. This is a sampling of the dishes that you would find in any Belizean backyard party, christening, wedding, or street festival. Take this for example. Rice and beans, stewed chicken, potato salad, and fried plantain. Now let's take a look at how to make this. Alright guys, so of course, if you know anything about the show, you know that Joe helps out behind the scenes with a lot of stuff and sometimes on camera. This is my darling husband of 34 years. Say hi to Joe.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Alright, so Joe, we put the beans in the crock pot last night, right? And we did 2 cups of the red kidney beans. He put some onion, cilantro, some minced up garlic, let it cook overnight. And here we are. He's going to use some of the beans now to do the rice and beans. I say some because we're going to use some to do garnachas. So Joe, go ahead and measure out the beans, babe. So Joe is measuring out the beans with the broth, and he wants a good bean to rice ratio. So he's just eyeballing. And he's washed the long grain white rice and adding it to the pot now, along with some salt and some black pepper. And of course coconut milk, because that's the secret ingredient. So I'm showing you the simmering or the rice soaker. And Joe checked his water level, and now he's just going to set the pot here on low heat and allow the rice to boil. So Joe's going to cut up this whole chicken, guys, and then we're going to wash it with distilled white vinegar and water. And then he's going to do a blend of black pepper, salt, ricado. If you don't have this, use paprika. This is some powder ricado or annatto. Garlic powder, not onion powder, because he's going to use real onions. He's going to put a little bit of cayenne for heat, and of course some thyme. So let's go, Joe. Cut up the chicken, babe. After cutting up the chicken into what seems like a million pieces, he's washing it with distilled white vinegar and water, and then adding the spices in no particular order, okay? So just go ahead and add some annatto, which is the ricado. You can use paprika if you don't have any of this. I'm adding some oil to the pan. I'm doing olive oil, but you can use vegetable oil. And now Joe's just going to brown the pieces on each side. And then he's going to remove the pieces and then add the onion and the cilantro to let it saute, and then add the pieces back in. He says this infuses the flavors better. And then add some water to let it cook. Then he's checking on the rice and beans in the meanwhile. And the rice and beans coming along pretty good. And then now the chicken is done, and he has this beautiful chicken with thick gravy. And then look, the rice and beans is also done. You just stir the rice every 20 minutes or so, okay? It'll be fine. To make the potato salad, all you have to do is boil the potatoes and the eggs, and then peel and dice the potato, put some diced onions, and then mash the eggs. This is a trick from my mom. Next, all you got to do is go ahead and mix some Heinz with a little bit of milk. Now, over here in America, some Belizeans don't like the Heinz anymore, but I absolutely love the Heinz. And then just toss it in the salad with the peas and carrots, and then the salad's ready. To make the tamales, I'm going to steal some of Joe's stewed chicken from the stewed chicken and rice and beans. And look, it's very simple to do the cull. Some diced up onions, some cilantro washed and picked from the stems, and some of this hot tomato sauce. We're still going to need ricado or paprika, but this is going to add some color to it right off the bat and some heat, alright? So let me get this on the stove. We're going to bring this to a boil, at which point we're going to strain this into it. This is the masa that I've just diluted with some water. The last things to go in are going to be these. So I'm putting the masa paste through the strainer because we don't want any lumps. And if it gets lumpy, we're going to have to put this through a strainer again. Okay, so we have to move fast. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some salt, some black pepper. A lot of black pepper, guys. And then some ricado, which is annatto. You can use paprika here. Give this a stir, and then I'm going to add the peas and carrots. I drained it, okay? I drained the tin. And then the tomatoes. And just work this in, set this aside, because now we have to work on the outside part. We're not going to do a ball where we squish it down, we're going to cook it. So I'm putting the paste through a strainer again. And then to this, I've added some salt, some melted shortening. You can use lard, a little bit of water, and then just let this reduce down a little bit to make a thick paste. Okay, this is going to be spreadable. So now let's build the tamales. So I'm heating the leaf on the fire, and I found out you have to put the fire high, and then rub the white paste, and then put some caul with a couple pieces of chicken with the bone. Yes, we love it like that. And then here comes the sucky part for me, folding this leaf. This gives me a lot of trouble, but I try. So I fold it. Thank goodness for the aluminum foil on the bottom. And then just kind of roll the top and fold in the edges. And I get better, don't worry. But sometimes I just use straight up foil and just leave the leaf alone. And you do it the same way. Spread it, put the caul, put the chicken, roll it, fold in the sides. And then you go ahead and you boil the tamales for at least an hour. Some people steam it, I boil it. And then when it's done, you let it set. Okay, it needs to set. And then you open it up and voila, you have beautiful tamales. I'm testing the masa to see how wet it is, because if it's too wet, I'm gonna have to add some flour. So I've added some baking powder, some ricotta, salt, and just get it worked in, adding a little bit of flour at a time to make sure it's not too wet. You can use corn flour too, but I use all-purpose flour. It'll work. And then roll them off into balls of varied size to use for panades or salbutes. All right, so now let's make the fish. For the panades, I use tuna, and I just kind of drain it, put it in a pan with some onion, cilantro, jalapeno. I use jalapeno a lot because habanero is too hot for me. And just hash the fish till it's dry. And then now I'm going to put the masa between two pieces of paper and squish. Put the fish in between, fold it, and then fry off the panades on low heat, all right? Use low heat because you want it to cook on the inside too. Then take a look at the panades with some nice onion sauce. And this is how I made the onion sauce. I chopped up some cabbage, diced up some onions, put distilled white vinegar and water and some salt and black pepper. And here we have it. The salbutes are very easy to make, guys. So I'm using some of the stew chicken that Joe made. I did some of the breast and the fattier parts with the gravy. I'm making the salsa right now that goes on top. It's cabbage, tomatoes, cilantro washed and picked from the stems. And this is the secret ingredient that makes it so delicious, all right? Because people are going to be expecting vinegar and water like for the panades. But for this one, we do fat-free Italian dressing, fat-free because it has more sugar in it, all right? So what we do is just go ahead and get our balls like this. We did this for the panades. I showed you how to season it. And we're going to go ahead and squish between the paper. And then we're going to fry it off. And then put some meat on top. Put the cabbage salsa. And of course, cheese. So you can use Dutch cheese or Parmesan. And here you have it, your salbutes. For the garnachas, you start off with stew beans. Season it up real well and then refry the beans in some butter. So now we're gonna make a sauce. I know a lot of Belizeans are eating ketchup for the sauce, but I wasn't raised on ketchup for this dish. I was raised on tomato sauce. So I'm using the hot tomato sauce, the regular tomato sauce, diced up onions, and just allow this to reduce. Add a little bit of water, allow it to reduce, then put some salt and some black pepper to taste. Meanwhile, the beans are refrying. You can fry it in lard, but I love butter. And just squish it with the back of the spoon or a potato masher until it looks like this. Now let's build the garnachas. Fry the corn tortilla till it's crispy. Spread the beans lavishly on top. Put some of the sauce and sprinkle with either Dutch cheese or Parmesan cheese. Very simple, right? This is one of the most common cakes you can find in Belize. It's called milk cake. And it's called milk cake because we boil sweetened condensed milk in a tin on the stovetop pressure cooker or slow cooker until it becomes caramelized, and we use that for the frosting. So Belizean milk cake is kind of like a pound cake. You cream the butter and the sugar first to make it fluffy, and you add the eggs in one at a time, and then the extract, and it's not vanilla, it's pineapple. Mommy's secret, okay? Then mix the dry ingredients together, and then you add the dry ingredients along with the milk alternately to the batter, meaning one in, one out. And then you make a batter like this. You grease and flour your tins, either 6-inch tin or 8-inch tins. And then you bake it off until the toothpick comes out clean. All right. And then you allow it to cool. I cut the cakes in two and I put the milk in between and then realized I would need more milk because normally I put jam or lemon curd, but this time I'm putting milk throughout the entire cake. And then just put some sprinkles on top. And some people like to put some cherries. And then you have this gorgeous cake. Now, jam roll. That was my mom's favorite dessert. It's very easy to make. The pie dough is very easy to make. You use all-purpose flour, some shortening, some butter, sugar, and ice water. I don't put any salt because the butter is salted. So you make it form a dough, and then you fraisier the dough like this, and put it in parchment, put it in the fridge for at least 15 minutes. Now, to make the jam roll, I personally just kind of roll it out flat, put it on a tray, put the jam on top, put the topping, poke it, bake it. Now, traditionally it's made like this. You roll it out like this, put the jam in the middle, flip it here, flop it over here, put a fork on the ends, prick it, bake it, voila. A beautiful, simple dessert. Don't forget the 3 W's of staying safe. Wear your mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands.